Welcome to Love Them Knives channel. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm having a Begleiter day myself, a Kizer Begleiter day, and these are the new fixed blade Begleiters from Kizer. Interesting. Now, I got these three. These are all G10, but they're also available in micarta. The micarta version costs a little bit more, but these are all, I think these are around $55 or $59. What about 50? Yeah, $59.75. Okay, so the only discount code I got is 10% off on White Mountain knives. It's LTK. Okay, so there's that if you find them there, which I don't know why you wouldn't. But Begleiter, I don't know, there's something about a fixed blade knife makes you feel like, it's a big knife. But really, these aren't that big. Now, these are all AEB-L steel, right? And there are three different blade shapes, and they are hollow ground. AEB-L, not Nitro V. All I can think about is AEB-L Nitro V, because that if you Google that, AEB-L versus Nitro V, there's a lot online about that because they're very similar. They added some vanadium and nitrogen to make AEB-L into Nitro V, which they say has a bit more corrosion resistance, but then again, not as much toughness. Now, AEB-L is probably pretty popular. I mean, going to the Atlanta Blade Show and seeing custom-made knives there were custom-made knives from AEB-L. It's pretty popular. And it finishes well. It has a good balance of, it's fairly easy to sharpen, and it's got 13% chromium, so it's stainless, and that kind of thing. And it's tough. Okay, it can take impact without chip, crack, that kind of thing. Pretty good. So AEB-L is a pretty appropriate steel, especially for fixed blade knives, I would think, because fixed blades would be probably more subject to impact here or there than maybe a little folding knife. So that's what these are, and they are full tang, but they're not very thick here, but they're hollow ground, and you've got sheep's foot, you've got drop point, and you've got tanto. Now, this one is especially corrosion resistant because it's coated. And I can't remember if that was a PVD. I would think it would be, although Kizer's been doing a bunch of DLC stuff too, diamond-like coating. And here's what I was talking about. These are and you can see 59, but there's a Begleiter fixed, and then this is 3V. So you can look, you want it in 3V? Wow, okay. And so you can get these. You might want to do that too in 3V. That's bumping it up, isn't it? And this is an Azo design, by the way, but there's a whole bunch. Here's 3V, here's AEB-L, 3V, D2. And that may be one of those ones that they put. Remember, they have certain ones that they'll put on as an Amazon exclusive, so that may be where that's at. So if you don't see it on their website, or you don't see it on White Mountain or whatever, you might want to check Amazon if it's like the D2 one. Okay, 3mm blade thickness, tough where it counts, light where it matters. I get that. And these are nice. I like G10 because you almost can't screw them up, right? And you have pretty good purchase on it, and it's very resistant to corrosives and liquids and things like that. So, and it looks like probably a number 8 will do that, and you can pop them off if you want. Maybe you could cord wrap it. Maybe I will attempt to pull the scales off of one of them. Here's kind of this is on the tanto though. Now they just say black coating. That's what I intended to look for. Oh, by the way, here's what AEB-L is. It's 0.6, almost 7%. I mean, 0.7% carbon. Wow, 7% carbon. Wouldn't that be some shit? Okay, and 13% chromium, manganese, here you go, and silicon, phosphorus, sulfur. Okay. And this is, I mean, this was an AI thing that fetches it if you put in a thing like here, you know. And this is talking about Nitro V versus essentially, you know, a modified version of AEB-L. Vanadium and nitrogen, blah, blah, blah. And then for the final, you know, coup d'etat here, or whatever, corrosion resistance, the, you know, key differences, toughness and hardness, heat treatment to overall performance, etc., etc. So there's that. Okay, is that enough? Do you want to just kind of like, let's see how big this knife is? And that's just my standard paramilitary 2. Yeah, they're not huge, are they? No, they're not. If I could find my tape measure is the one that keeps trying to hide itself. I don't know why. It was in the living room the other day, and I go, how'd this get out here? And my wife had that guilty look on her face. I go, I've got 3 more tape measures, but this is the one that gives me centimeters and millimeters, okay? This is my metric equivalent too. Okay, 3 3/4. And what's that saying to me? 7.8. So not even 8 inches overall length. Let's just call it, you know, well, 19.8 centimeters. All right, and what do you got? 97 millimeters, that kind of thing. So these should all be pretty similar, shouldn't they? Shouldn't they? Or maybe they won't be. Here you go. This is, yeah, I mean, because of the blade shape and stuff, they might vary a bit. That says 3 3/4 at, you know, 90. Yeah, pretty much exactly the same. Yeah, okay, yeah. And so is it 3 millimeter? Where can I catch it in its fat? Okay, the fat unhollowed part. 0.11 at 2.8. So they're close. I mean, it's probably essentially 3 millimeter blade stock. And let's do this as well. Yeah, 2.8. Okay, now 12, 19. Can I keep squeezing? No, okay. 11.9 at 0.47. So that's, actually they're shorter than a paramilitary 2, and they're just as thin as a paramilitary 2, virtually. And virtually means not really. Okay, there's that. And then you get a sheath with each one of them. Oh, and there's your drain hole. There's all your grommets for lashing, and here's your tech lock. So you get a tech lock, you get the knife, you get the sheath, you get all this stuff, and a hollow ground AEB-L blade. I don't know which one I favor. It would be, I'm not a big Tanto kind of guy, so that's kind of out for me as far as my favorite of the bunch. And usually I don't gravitate towards sheep's foot, but that's nice, isn't it? I'm good with that. And I like the tan, but I mean, you know, whatever. And, but this is drop point is usually what I favor the most. And let's just do a little, okay. I think these are all pretty sharp. And, oh yeah, they're actually really sharp. Okay, so not very heavy though. God, they feel so freaking light. Whew, I wonder if the sheath weighs more than the knife. What do you think? And there's the Tanto one. So let's try that Tanto sheath at 65 grams. Okay, the knife 75 grams. Wow, that's close, isn't it? Okay, let's go back around to ounces. And will you stop at ounces? 2.6. Gosh dang. Okay, let's go drop point. 2.47. Wow. This is almost bug out territory. Is this right? I mean, it just doesn't seem like it should be that light. 2.68. Okay. So this was 2.64. It was kind of in the middle of both of them, right? Kick this on. Yeah, still under 5 ounces. Sheath and all. Wow. You could take this off. You probably could almost neck knife this thing, really. And it just depends on what you're doing. You know, if you're out in the woods and you got a jacket or a pack and stuff like that, you could hook it to the pack, or you really could hang it around your neck if you're wearing like a shirt or a jacket or something like that. This might be annoying if you're just like hot summer day and you have a t-shirt on, you know. But other than that, yeah. And then again, you could take the tech lock off and damn near put that deep enough. If you had cargo pants on or cargo shorts or whatever, you could put that deep enough in your pocket. You could just EDC the damn thing. It's so light, you know. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Let's take the box for this one. Let's push these back. And now this is for the Tanto one. It says AEB-L black coating, G10 handle, etc. 3 3/4 inch blade, which we already figured out. Pull this open, and of course I was trying to save everything, you know. And there's a little nub that goes over the tip of the blade, and there's the plastic, and here's a sticker, so we got all that, right? And to dig down in here, just take the knife that came with it and pop that open. Now, of course, the sheath will be down here. And no, I was thinking maybe they had a piece of lanyard cord or something like that, you know. But no, okay. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, you know, on certain models. So actually, it wouldn't have broke my heart if they actually had a lanyard attached to this. I don't know, I'm not usually a lanyard person, but in certain instances, I think that would be okay with these knives. They're so lightweight and nimble, that might not be bad. But you can always do it yourself, get some paracord and, you know, have at it. But yeah, I couldn't get all these boxes under the camera, so I just decided I'm going to shove all 3 of them kind of together here to do this, because I would want all of them to be here, because this is the Begleiter Fixie, and you can get them in 3V, you can get them in Nitro, or AEB-L. I can't stop thinking about Nitro V. But 3V and AEB-L. And you can get them as low as $59, right? And maybe even 55 with a discount on White Mountain or whatever. So, and they're thin, slicey. You can get up here for control. At least you got a little cutaway here. So you could get on there and strop them pretty damn easy. Or sharpen them if you just got them really, you know, waxed up pretty good to where there's no way you can strop an edge back on them. You got to, you know, take a shot at it with a stone. But okay. But still, yeah, oh, you know what? I was going to kind of promise you that I would pull one of these. And you know what? I'm going to see if I can. Let me get my crazy driver out here and push these back far enough to get them out of the way. And let's see. I mean, they're really set up to come off from the back because that's the only way. Will they give way? And this one is. So, I mean, I think this will pretty well represent the whole deal. And let me loosen this up too. Okay, so these 2 screws, boom, 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 and those look like the same. Okay, same deal. So here you go. And that. So they're coming through from the front. And, okay, so if you look at this hole and this hole, they are squared off, so they're not going to turn. And by the way, they're pretty much skeletonized, so really this would be pretty easy to cord wrap, and or you could lash this, you know, to a pole or a stick to make them more like a spear. But I mean, you could start through here, you know, and then start wrapping, and then go all the way back through here and then back into here. And then you finish it up here. I haven't cord wrapped a blade in a long time, but I remember you kind of end up going through the lanyard area, coming through that, then tying it off, and then letting, you know what I'm saying? So you got the whole thing, but you got it wrapped, I think, under, over, both, you know, ways when you got this open area. But no wonder there's so damn light. Good Lord Almighty. There's nothing to them now. I just wondered, just for curiosity's sake, what is it going to weigh? Is it going to be less than the bug out? You tell me. Bug out's like 2 ounces, isn't it? Or 2.1? Something like that. So that's got to be right there. Right there with the bug out. Only, obviously, this is bigger. And the bug out, I think, is a little bit more than a 3-inch blade. It's 3.2, maybe a 7 point. It's more than 7 inches overall, right? I think. But this is, you know, close to 8 overall. So, and wowee. Oh, well. But here's your scales. Okay, so you can see both ends. And there's enough of this that shows through the back. You know what I mean? This. So for striking purposes of, you know, you're trying to hammer something or pound on something to do something. And also maybe glass breaker. I think you could probably accomplish that, right? With this, possibly. So there's that. So a lot of different uses. This would be more like a little camp knife. Or really this here. I think this would be a great skinner for game, period. I mean, you're approaching 4-inch blade. That'd be enough for even, you know, deer hunting and stuff, right? Field dressing there. And definitely small game. So, and, you know, another thing, great steak knife. And since it's stainless and pretty corrosion resistant, even as AEB-L. I mean, even kitchen duty or camp duty, cutting things up, hacking pieces or vegetables or, you know, that kind of thing. It would be, and it's light. Yeah, I could see this is a steak knife. It's probably about the same size as most of the steak knives I've got. So, okay, just another one for there. And it's not that expensive, right? Let's get our disassembly mat out of the way and get back with these, and then you can kind of see where's my sheep's foot? There it is. You can definitely see with these Kydex. Yeah, I'm not getting any rattle. Nope. Nope. And they all got drain holes, grommets. They're all nice. They all got the tech lock. They're all pretty well set up. And, you know, I like the G10 over my Carta as far as outdoor users. So, but you know what? They have them in my Carta and they got them in 3V. And the 3V is not that much more expensive. So look up CPM 3V. It's a crucible powder metallurgy, and it's some stuff. Now it's not stainless. Okay. So there's a balance there, but I mean the edge retention should be better, and the toughness should be pretty good also on 3V. All right, take care. It's the Begleiter Fixed Blade Marathon right now going on at Kizer. Check them out. They're just spooky ass light, but man, they'll be so good as just a around the house thing you can use, or whatever. Throw it in the boat, the camper, or whatever. And you guys, stay sharp.